Greetings, everybody, and welcome to another episode of SeptumSin versus the World. I'm SeptumSin. Today, I actually have a special guest on here, which is my wife from Kim's Visual Diary, which is actually, why don't you explain what your channel is about? That'd be easier.
Well, mostly I do like lifestyle type of stuff, journaling, books, health journey, that kind of thing. It's kind of like a mishmash of a lot of different stuff, but I've been focusing mainly on like books lately.
All right. Well, Kim also likes movies, like myself. Our tastes coincide in some places and veer off in others. But I thought, well, we're snowed in. It's cold, which is why I'm not editing down here. And I don't plan on being down here past this video, as a matter of fact, because Inside Movies Galore, tonight we're covering Metropolis on that one, the anime from 2001. I'm probably going to be upstairs where it's a bit warmer, which is sad because my microphone definitely gives me better quality there. I kind of look at this as my impromptu studio, but you go where you stay warm. So let's get started. I'm trying to cover these at least one letter at a time because I'm trying to reorganize my collection. Now, today we're hitting W, and then Wednesday I already have a pre-recorded video of me covering the letter V, which is going to be up soon. And of course, finally, before we get started, check out the link in the description below. Of course, my movie, some of my friends' movies are sold on the Kanaki page, but also there's my eBay store page where I have a number of items that are up for sale, and more will be added as we go. All right, well, let's get started with this. So I can tell how long some of these have been waiting because there's at least one that was back from only about a year after I joined Inside Movies Galore. That's how long some of these have been waiting. So this first one is a micro-budget film called Wraith. I probably either got this for free from the director at one point, or I purchased it from the director because there were a lot of points where I would just go, okay, well, sure, I'll pay $15. Get me everything that you've made. I'm past that now, but still, I like trying to support independent creators if I can. And I'll admit, if money starts to become a really nice thing and I can throw it around, I will be supporting them again. So this is about a man and a woman embarking on a surreal road trip together. That's it. That's all it says. Now, I don't know much about it. It was the 158th copy of this made. They did get this. This isn't like one of those blank ones that are there. Ooh, it has textures too. It's got a little texture on here, which is kind of neat. So it's not your standard Kanaki make. I can tell that.
I don't remember this one. We haven't watched it yet, have we?
Nope. This is definitely low budget. You can tell because of the cover. That's definitely paper that they did little art design on. And you can see here. If Dave decides he's going to join us, I did invite people if they wanted to come. I'm sure he might be able to tell you more about this. I have no clue. This is by Natanic Productions, which I am not familiar with. I'm sure if I had talked about this sooner than when I picked it up, I could have told you why. But things like that, it gets there. Now, the one that's definitely years sitting on my shelf. And the reason for that is you'll notice as I go up, by the time I get to A, I'll have like maybe 3 items because I would always start at the beginning of the alphabet, and anything that was at the end of the alphabet would just sit there and add up. And that's a film called Wrestle Massacre. Now, I do know why I got this. This is one of the first films that Dave Streggy from Inside Movies Galore was involved with. He was involved in a production quality. This is before a lot of that. And so this is another micro-budget feature. and I think there's a sequel out, but I really want to see this one before I go to the sequel. It says here, Randy is an awkward groundskeeper who is obsessed with professional wrestling, longing for a scene of belonging with grandiose dreams of becoming a wrestling superstar. Randy is only met with with abject humiliation. That's one of the problems when you do it live, you know. It's just how it is.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
That's just how it is.
I have nothing against wrestling, but considering the fact that I'm not a fan of wrestling, I don't think that this is going to be one that I'm going to be quite keen on watching.
Apparently, his failure leads him to just go and start killing people. So it's gonna be one of those like slasher, like guy goes crazy and starts killing people movies.
Oh yeah, sure. Like whenever I've failed at something, felonious murder becomes my coping mechanism. Like what?
Well, you know how it is with slasher films. They don't really need good reason to go off. They just go off. Man, I'm definitely hitting the low budgets for this first little stack. This is from Shot on Video, so SOV Horror. I can tell by the art style, and I'm probably going to, and this is one that's probably going to be going up on sale eventually on the thing, because I do have a better version of this. I actually even know where I got this from. This is Writer's Block, which is Truth or Dare 2. Now, this is a series that was involving Joel Wynkoop. It is a slasher series. If I remember correctly, there's about 5 Truth or Dare movies out there, and they did a collection. SRS released a full collection of them where they remastered them, which is good because a lot of the DVDs have been shaky when it comes to quality. This is Jack Grady's latest novel, Woodcutter, is a total scream with the fans. Unfortunately, when it's time to write his next masterpiece, he gets a bad case of writer's block. But his luck changes when he finds a mysterious journal written by a psychopathic teen obsessed with the game Truth or Dare. It's just a book, right? Well, Elliot doesn't think so, and now it's time for the ultimate payback. Because when you play Truth or Dare, Elliot, you always lose. I'm going to do a quick lookup of that, because this is one I need to make sure that I can't even spell truth. Truth or Dare. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, there's a lot of those. Or Dare 1. Dare SRS. There we go.
Is Ozzy down there with you?
Ozzy?
Yeah.
I don't see him.
I hear
He does
someone
like to come up. He does like to come up on here on occasion.
I'm hearing him purr.
Let's see here. Yeah, Truth or Dare. No, this one's actually a different Truth or Dare. So, not the Wynkoop property. So I probably will be keeping this and checking it out. All right, finally one I've seen. It's a Phil Herman one, and you can tell it's micro budget. Not all of these are micro budget. I've even shown one to Kim that it's definitely not micro budget. And this is a Phil Herman film called The Wrong Side of Town. You can tell just by looking at this is definitely almost zero budget right there. I mean, yeah.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
You can see canon written on the side there.
Okay, maybe we can judge it a little bit.
So, yeah, Chad goes to the wrong side of town where he is tricked by pretty girls to set him up, confronted by gangs that beat him half to death. It is a horrible night for Chad when he goes to the wrong side of town. So
not Chad. His name was Chad.
So essentially, it's a movie about this guy who definitely gets in the wrong side of town, and these people just start hunting him. And the entire movie is about him trying to get out of there and get to safety. For what it is, I've seen a number of these, and there are some that will be leaving the collection. And that's not to say I don't like Phil Hartman, because I love Phil Hartman. He's a great guy, great director. Amazing individual, and he's even been in Amityville Webcam and will be in the upcoming DV7. But Wrong Side of Town is actually pretty well done for what it is. It's filmed over, I believe, in New York. A lot of guerrilla filmmaking being done. And New York has a lot of locations where you can go that look sketchy as heck, because they are. And it does a good job with it. You can tell, though, it's very rough. Film quality is rough. This is back when he was younger, so it's probably been the 90s. But I would actually recommend this if you are a micro-budget film fan. You like Phil Hartman and some of his work. I'm guessing you probably have not heard of this one, of that one.
No, I haven't heard of any of the ones you've talked about so far.
Don't worry, you will. Okay, next set, the WOs. So we're going to start with one that I had debated, but I know the guy who makes this, and I looked at the actual description, and I decided, okay, this is a 2023 film. It's called Woke. It is a film about aliens. It's an SRS film.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
In the tradition of invasion of the body snatchers and disturbing behavior comes Woke, a new title from writer-director Bobby Canup. I can't say your name. Sorry if you're watching this.
Spell the name. What name is it?
Bobby, CANIPE, which he's a lower budget thing. Oh, and of course, Mike McNally again. Hello to you too, sir. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope it is not an icy, cold world around where you're living. I like ice. No, sorry, I don't like ice at all. I don't like any form of ice.
I was about to say you might want to take that one back.
except for in my like water when I want it cold. But
you like snow, is what you're saying.
But yeah, I don't mind seeing some snow on the ground. It's a nice visual, but nah. So let's see here. A young girl struggles with the recent loss of her mother. She discovers something is strange with the guy across the street. With her friends Raz, Trent, and Harper, they must band together while dealing with their own personal issues to stop extraterrestrial creatures from controlling everyone in their neighborhood, including themselves. But is it already too late? I've heard some decent things about this one. I paused when I saw the name, because usually it's used by people I don't deal with these days. But it's not meant in that context, so I was willing to overlook. I still haven't seen it. SRS released it, and I trust the people at SRS to do decent with their micro-budget films. All right, well, I guess we are done briefly with micro-budget. Now you see where most of my stuff comes from. This is micro-budget films. So let's talk some anime. So this next one here is a one from Sentai. I obviously got it on a Sentai sale because it's a DVD. I bet you I got this for under $5. And that is Wolf Girl and Black Prince. This looks like a shoujo because of just the art style. If your boyfriend says, is it puppy love if your boyfriend makes you wear a leash?
What
That
in the
sounds,
50 Shades of Grey is this shit?
that sounds a bit kinky there.
I don't want to kink shame or anything, but no.
So everyone knows what lies can come back to bite you. But when Erica makes up a fake boyfriend to impress her new classmates, the results may literally end up hounding her forever. Yes, it was dumb, but what were the odds that the random guy whose picture she used would turn out to be a student at her own school? Or that said,
He's
oh
like, wait,
boy.
I'm dating who? Who? That the new girl? Yeah, I'll take things that never happened for 100, Alex.
So apparently, in exchange for keeping her silence and going along with it, he is having her do a lot of things for her. Not the kind of things you might be thinking of, but more like fetching him lunch and stuff like that in order to do that.
You
And it
mean
looks
fetching
like
him lunch?
and it looks like one of those things like where eventually romance and real feelings bloom as it goes.
Yeah, but I'm like, is he dogging her out the whole time? Like, just like treating her kind of shitty, or is it just like little things?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I've heard decent things about it, and it was cheap. A lot of times on the Sentai sales, I don't do this now, so this was definitely something I did a number of years ago. Like I say, some of these are from years ago. I would look at this stuff, and if it's an anime series and it was under $10, I would grab it because I wanted to build up my anime collection. But sometimes you just don't need to. But I'll find out. I'll eventually watch it. When I watch it, if I like it, I'll keep it. If I don't like it, well, I can always sell it or get rid of it because it's worth more than what I got it for now. So, all right. So, another anime before I get into live action movies. This one's one that actually has a reputation as being very well done. I've never seen it, but it looks really good. And that's a series that Funimation, back before they became Crunchyroll, again, well, that's a time there, and that is the series Wolf's Rain. I actually had the soundtrack to this series before I bought the series itself. Pretty nice little set there. So the pack's journey, a search for paradise. Kiba, a lone white wolf, wanders into a poverty-stricken city on a quest, the scent of lunar flowers, and the will to find paradise is all he has. Along the way, he runs into other outcast wolves, each with their own story and troubles. Fate brings them together. They seek out the flower maiden, Cheza, their way to paradise. But doing so is no simple matter. Up against a world that fears them and a man with mysterious abilities, their journey is overrun with challenges and worse sacrifices.
Well, it sounds rather wholesome. Like it sounds like something like Disney would make, or like it could be a children's book.
Well, I've heard good things about it. I've heard a lot of people who really love this series and stand by it. It's one that and there's a lot of anime that comes out. I mean, a lot of anime that comes out. So in the scheme of things, that's actually a good sign that that's held up in there. But I don't know until I see it. This is the problem with a large collection like this, is why I'm slowing down on my collecting. Is I also, not just, even if I had the money to keep going with it, I need to watch some of these things. And speaking of one that I need to watch, and actually one that you will have heard of for once, I got this because of the awards banter for it back in the day, and everybody was saying this should have won Best Picture, this should have won Best Actress for Viola Davis, and that was The Woman King. Now this
I'm
name,
gonna have my black card snatched from me because I have yet to see that movie.
I've heard this like mentioned a lot, but I have never seen it. And like I say, a lot of people say that it was robbed by the Academy Awards. So, inspired by true events, this is a remarkable action-packed story about an all-female unit of warriors who protected the African kingdom of Dahomey? Dahomey?
So they're the real life version of Dora Milaje.
So it looks interesting. A lot of people say it is an amazing film. The buzz, it's one of those films where the buzz was like super hyped for about 3 months and then it dropped off to nothing. As it typically does at this day and age. I mean, nothing really stays in the public mind for very long, but still. Speaking of, one I have seen, and one I'll need to see again because I may get rid of it in the collection. I really need to double check because I was kind of bored when I watched it the first time, but an Oscar winner, and that is the movie Women Talking. Jacob loved this film.
Who was in it? Jog my memory.
Rooney Mara, Claire Foy, Jessie Buckley, Judith Ivey, Ben Whishaw, and Frances McDormand. A lot of big names.
Yeah, I don't remember this one.
In 2010, the women of an isolated religious community grapple with reconciling their reality and their faith. Based off of a novel. So again, I don't know. I was bored when I watched it originally. It's supposedly inspired by true events. But maybe I was just not in the mindset, because there's a lot of times I'll put on a movie like this and it's the wrong time to put on a movie like this. It's more because I'm trying to get it watched so I can say I watched it than to actually want to watch it. In a movie like that, you really kind of have to be in the right mindset or else you're just going to lose all interest. You know what I'm saying, right?
No, I get it.
So here's an anime that's controversial, but one you might actually have an interest in because it's a horror anime. I eventually got this.
Okay, now we're talking.
Because it was on sale, because I'm still kind of up in the air. I've watched a few episodes and I was like, maybe. Never came back to it. And that was Wonder Egg Priority. Now, this one had a lot of hype as far as it was all over for the visuals, but most people who watched it were disappointed with it. A lot of the reason why a lot of people were very interested is not only because the visuals are very striking. I mean, that kind of like bright yellow really pulls people's eyes to it, but also it's by the people who did Promised Neverland and Darling in the Franxx, which are both very interesting series, but both very flawed series. I've never seen either of those series, but I do know a lot of the stories behind them. So this is a story of an introverted girl who struggles with her best friend's suicide. Her fate is forever changed when she acquires a mysterious wonder egg from a deserted arcade. But all is not what it seems. Now, when they say egg, it's like those little you know, the kind of like little slot machines that you put, like you turn a little thing and a little like plastic capsule comes out and something's in the plastic capsule. That's more.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that from when we were kids. Yeah.
It's more like what that's like. And those things are big in Japan, by the way. So I've got one that I know you've seen. And one you're probably going to be like, okay, he's had this for a long time. And it's another example of I don't get to these letters very often because I keep resetting to the earlier letters in the alphabet. And that is the steelbook, the 4K steelbook of Wonder Woman.
Jesus Christ, how long have you been holding on to this stuff?
Like I said, I kept recycling back to the letter A. And I do like 5 at a time, a couple times a month. So I might go through 10 pickups in a month sometimes, or none in a month. So as you can see here, it's got like it's advertising a little Wonder Woman doll that you could get. But it's really cool looking there. So this is an adaptation of the comic book hero Wonder Woman. This is in the Snyderverse. Back when it was still doing very well. It followed up Batman v Superman, which was not doing very well. But probably one of the best portrayals of Wonder Woman I've seen. She does a really good job of it. And it shows basically the origins of her going into society after a pilot from the war crashes down. I think it was World War One. Or was it World War II?
Yeah, it's World War One, I believe. Wait, no, shoot.
And her involvement in that.
Was, I want to say it was World War One, but I can't remember. It may have been World War Two.
Now,
this is so long.
During that period, there are a lot of those Zack Snyder films that are questionable in quality. I say Zack Snyder film, I mean him as like the leader of the whole. He did not direct this one. But this film was probably one of
Patty Jenkins directed this one.
Yeah,
I think Snyder was still a producer.
This is probably the best film, one of the best films in the DCU. I know I'm going to catch fire from that because most people will say the Justice League extended cut was the best one, or Batman v. I've actually had some people try to tell me that Batman v Superman is the best film in the DCU, and I'm like, well, we must have watched 2 different films. But there are people who go very hard for Zack Snyder and his vision. But that follows up with another.
I don't hate him. I wish we could have finished off his version of Justice League and what he wanted to do with it. And like after watching the Snyder cut now, I'm even more like frustrated and upset that we never got to see him fulfill his vision for the series.
Oh, I agree with you on that. Poor Henry Cavill.
I mean, yeah, he kind of got screwed. Out of everyone, he got screwed the most, I feel like.
So this next one is one that was not as good as the previous one, but I still kind of liked it. I need to watch it again, tell you the truth. And that's Wonder Woman 84. Now, for those wondering, I do have every DCU film, not the current one, but the Zack Snyderverse ones on Steelbook because I'm insane like that. Back when Best Buy was doing Steelbooks. And this one was later on, and it kind of went in some weird places, and you had Chitara, and I don't know. I mean, I didn't think it was a terrible film.
I mean, it's not that I disliked it. I mean, I liked it, but I didn't like it. You know what I mean? It was mid.
Yeah, it was still enjoyable, but and I need to watch it again. I've only seen it once. It's the other problem is it followed up such an amazing film because the original Wonder Woman is a really good film. So it's kind of weird to see it like that. All right. Now back to Animu.
Okay.
I got this because I saw this. I loved this when I was a kid. In the early days when my father had a satellite dish and we were kept getting HBO, and this would come on, and HBO would actually show anime, but I didn't know it was anime back then. And that is a series called The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. This is the Japanese version with English subtitles. I feel like I also have the English dub version as well, but I'm not 100% certain. But I may have already presented the English language version of it. Now this one adapts the novels, as you know, them all, and a lot of them are fun adaptations. It is a pretty cool series. I enjoyed it a lot as a kid. Now I haven't watched any as an adult, so it might be horrible as an adult, but I find it kind of nice and whimsy. And as somebody who's in their middle age years, we always try to reclaim some of our childhood, don't we? And
Who the hell's middle aged? Besides you.
I am. See, that's a part of that. I got a young and beautiful wife. I just don't have the money to get the sports car.
Oh my God, I ain't that damn young and I'm not beautiful.
So then there's another anime. This one I got because it was cheap. And I believe this is a movie with Shop Factory called Wonderland. There was actually a time where I was collecting anything Alice in Wonderland related, and I'm kind of out of that phase now. I even got featured on a friend of the channel's, Dane Kyle, when he did his Dangerous Arts channel, did an August in Wonderland feature, and I got to play the Mad Hatter in his thing. And it's actually credited on IMDb for that, one of my earliest credits. So let's see here. On the day before her birthday, young Akane meets the mysterious alchemist Hippocrates, who brings her through a basement into a fantastical world full of magic and color. Though things seem peaceful on the surface, he reveals this world is in danger, and as the destined goddess of the green wind, it is Akane's responsibility to bring back the rain and save this world from the terror known as Zangu. Sounds
and like,
interesting.
how long is this one again?
116 minutes, so it's definitely a film. It's kind of cute.
It's not bad. Not even an hour and a half. So that's pretty short, actually.
Well, 116 minutes. It's almost 2 hours.
Okay, math is not my strong suit. Shut up.
But this is from Shop Factory release. Shop Factory has dabbled in some anime releases, and so it has me curious. A lot of anime movies are good overall. I haven't disliked a lot of them. All right, we got a Dollar Tree pickup. Back when Dollar Tree was doing dollar DVDs and Blu-ray. This is a movie called Wuxi, the Demon Slayer. I'm sure I saw this at Dollar Tree and I was like, it's a Shout Factory release. That's something. The fantasy action.
Never heard of it.
Blockbuster based on a Korean folktale, and it broke box office records in Korea in 2009. So apparently it's kind of martial arts. It's got magic and all of this and Korean historical fantasy. So it's, maybe good. Maybe good.
Maybe not. Who knows? I've never seen it, so.
Now, this one is one that I got from Vinegar Syndrome. Or actually, I shouldn't say Vinegar Syndrome. I got it from TerrorVision. And that is actually a classic micro-budget horror film. Probably shot on video back when they would call them shot on video horrors. And that is Wood Chipper Massacre. You can always tell these boutique ones because they have the really thick slip covers. There's the actual cover. This has been recommended by several friends of mine. Mo, Kyle recommends it. A few other people who really, Dave. So, I mean, they're not exactly the best recommendation when it comes to stuff that I am going to love, but it is one I've also heard talked about a lot in the micro-budget horror community. One of those old school slasher splatter films. And I'll admit, I like some of the old school shot on video stuff. Video Violence, for instance, is one of my favorites. And that is a classic old school next to no budget film. It's so, you know, stuff like that. I can get behind it. It just depends on how bad. My goodness, we're in micro budget heaven here.
Oh Lord, how many more do we have to go?
Well, we got a few more, definitely.
All right.
So this is a film by Sean C. Phillips. And that is the film Woods Witch. SRS released this. This is a kind of Blair Witch Project style found footage film. It has a decent number of actors and so on that I know. Sally Kirkland, Jeff Kirkendall looks like he's in it. Lisa Wilcox is in it. For those who know that one, James Duvall. And those two have been in some big ones, and Robert Lasardo. So there's some decent ones in this. Essentially, when two up-and-coming internet vloggers take a road trip to film footage of a forest that's known for disappearances and deaths, they find themselves in a fight against the supernatural. So, again, kind of more of a modern take on Blair Witch, I guess. I don't remember much of it, which doesn't bode well for it. I don't remember hating it. It's not like Amityville Karen, which I'll probably keep just because there are a few films so bad that made me go, oh my gosh, this is horrible. Where I remember how horrible it is. Usually it's just a film that I kind of forget about. You might know this one. I picked this up from Warner Archives.
Okay.
And that's The World According to Garp with Robin Williams.
I remember that movie. I just never seen it before.
I've never seen it either, and I think I got this around the time that Robin Williams passed, and I was trying to collect a lot of his stuff. And let's see, when Robin Williams played T.S. Garp in World According to Garp, two totally original American icons met, leading to the comic actor of our time, the character whose loopy adventures made John Irving's novel a literary milestone and runaway bestseller. Garp, a sweet-natured writer whose life is a weird minefield of violence, adultery, fatherhood, rampant feminism, and eerie coincidence. Glenn Close as Garp's formidable mother, and John Lithgow as a transsexual ex-NFL receiver give impressive supporting acting nods. Interesting. I've heard of it. It's got a good cast. And I'll give anything with Robin Williams a go. He looks so young in that one.
Well, we all were young at one point.
So I got this anime because it was relatively cheap and I wanted something with a very long title. So the title of this, I have to actually sit here and read it before I show it off, is World End. What are you doing at the end of the world? Are you busy? Will you save us? That is the actual title.
That's a long ass title.
Yeah, like I say. And it has people involved that worked on Hellsing Ultimate and Fairy Tale, both actually really good series. And I've seen Hellsing Ultimate all the way through, very good horror series. Fairy Tale, I've only seen part of the way because it's a really long freaking series. 500 years have passed since humanity went extinct at the hands of 17 beasts. Now the only ones left fighting are the leprechauns, a group of fairy warriors with powers to wield holy swords. Enduring a life of uncertainty, these girls only know only danger, but everything changes when the last human suddenly awakens and takes them in. All right. Interesting. Not what this is not what a leprechaun looks like in my thoughts, but hey. All right, so this is a horror film that I got on a Kino Lorber sale. And I don't know whether you actually have seen this, but you may have. And it is a horror film by Graham Sloan called The World is Full of Secrets. Looks kind of cool.
Is it based off of a book? Because I feel like I've heard of a book with that same title.
I'm not sure. It is a film from a little while back, it looks like. An old woman's voice recalls a terrible event from her distant past. On a summer night in 1996, 5 teenage girls meet in a suburban house, absent of parental supervision, to pass the time. They begin to tell morbid stories of the world outside, trying to best one another in a grim competition. As the night becomes darker and the play becomes more serious, the world of fiction is consumed by reality and a feverish Decameron in miniature.
Okay.
I probably got this because it was super cheap on the sale and it looked interesting. This one also I got off of the Dollar Tree sale. Called Wormwood's End. This is oh no, never mind. It was an SRS sale. Interesting look, isn't it?
Weird.
Zombie film. 4 months after the apocalypse was all it took to turn people into monsters and monsters into devils. 3 survivors seek refuge with the Wormwood militia, only to find Camp Wormwood may offer protection from the Walking Dead, but the camp holds dangers of its own. Very interesting. So the last of the WOs is a Criterion film that I missed on my Criterion wrap up, and that is The Worst Person in the World. Interesting cover there. Jacob seemed to think it was a really good film. It got a Best Actress award at Cannes. Let's see here. It's Norwegian.
Okay.
Let's see here. The waivers over artistic passions and professions, the question of motherhood and relationships with 2 very different men, a successful comic book artist and a charismatic barista, working with a team of longtime collaborators. The problem with a lot of the summaries they give you on Criterion is about, this is a great tale by an artist that does this and this. Well, what's it about? Oh, we're not going to tell you what it's about. You should know. But I do like the title.
Yeah.
All right. This little stack. So I've shown Kim this one already, as far as like she knows this one's up, and that is Wicked for Good. This is probably a fairly recent pickup.
I never even read the books yet. I mean, I keep saying I don't want to watch the movies until I've read the book.
I definitely do need to see these because based off of that, I want to see the musical. And Kristen Chenoweth has had some issues recently, but she got well known for her part in this, if I recall correctly. Not in this movie, but in that original.
Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel, where they originated the roles on Broadway.
And there's been off and on stuff there, and there's talk of a third film, but this one and the second film end that storyline that it's supposed to cover. So I'm willing to watch. I didn't really want to watch the first one because the story kind of stops and is continued in the second film. So I wanted to just see the whole story. But now I can, so it's there. This one also had some issues with some complaints about racism on set and stuff like that, which was a little bit of an issue. No, it wasn't racism on set. It was advertising. There was an issue with advertising that really kind of upset the actress that plays the Wicked Witch of the West. Gosh, what is her name? Cynthia Erivo, I believe.
Yeah, Cynthia Erivo.
And there are some people who consider this movie black erasure. But I'm not sure whether I would call that.
Those people who say that are dumb, and they clearly have never seen the original Broadway musical if they are saying that.
Because, it's the character is a character whose skin is supposed to be green. It's not because they said, oh, well, we don't want to, show that she's African American. We just want to, I don't know.
No, but she's not African American. I think she's from the UK.
Oh, well, see, then.
So she's black, but she's not American. I don't think so.
I do need to see it, though. I've heard that they're both really. I've heard that the two actresses are really good with each other in this. So I am very curious as to how this turns out. I will have to watch it sooner than later. So this one I'm going to be fairly brief with. The Wild. I got this because it was it is a Disney film. I kind of got this towards the end, trying to collect all the Disney animated films. I may still keep it because I do like to keep the Disney animated films. It reminds me a lot of, what is that series? It's got Madagascar. It has a lot of similarities to Madagascar in a way, and I think it played off of that.
Oh, okay.
The animation looks kind of horrible. It has a couple of redeeming moments in it, but it's not that good. It's about a bunch of animals in the zoo going into the wild, so to speak, and escaping like an island.
Sounds like Animal Farm almost.
It's kind of weird. There's like a cult of like goat animals or something like that, and it's kind of a weird thing. So this one is definitely going into
Four legs good, 2 legs bad.
This one is definitely going into the resale pile. Not because I dislike it, but because I got an upgrade, which I've already shown on a pickup, and that is Wild Hunt. Now, this is one I picked up when I was looking at my LARPing and role-playing movies. It's essentially about a movie about this guy who is trying to understand why his girlfriend won't talk to him, and she's currently on a LARP right now, and he's going in there, and he hates LARPing. He's been like D&D nerds and all that stuff. So he's willing to go in there and play along with it, and the LARP is kind of, it is a really serious LARP. So it's about him trying to win her back, essentially, and having to kind of deal with this stuff in between. It's a pretty cool movie. It's got some very intense parts to it. I really liked it, and I am kind of glad to get the Blu-ray upgrade that they did, because I think a lot of these films in that area need a good upgrade. So I'm kind of glad to get it upgraded. But it's a cool cover. I mean, I like that. You wouldn't look at this and say, this is a movie about LARPing.
Thank God for that, I guess.
I guess I've seen this, but I can't remember watching this. I think I got this from Jake or Dave, or one of them. And that's the movie Wild Things. With Kevin Bacon, Matt Dillon.
Yes. Oh my God, I loved that movie when I was in high school. Nev Campbell, Denise Richards. Oh, I remember. Matt Dillon, I think, was in it.
Let's see. Okay, I think I do remember watching this now. So it's a thriller about this guidance counselor. Oh, yes, I have seen this. About this guidance counselor that was kind of accused of raping one of these girls, and they had gotten to a plot to do this. It was very intriguing and very, very intense at parts. And it had a lot of twists and turns. I admit, when I first watched it, I didn't expect some of the twists that it had. Now, this is one that's kind of a iffy one. That's a horror movie. I don't know. You might have watched this one with me. And that is the movie Winchester. With Sarah Snook, Jason Clarke.
I remember watching something. It's about the Winchester rifle in the Winchester house, right?
Yeah, and
I think we saw the one with Helen Mirren.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing this one, but I feel like we saw the one with Helen Mirren.
This is the one with Helen Mirren.
Oh, well, shoot. Oh, damn.
I remember it a little bit, and I remember being okay with it. It's not. I don't remember it being bad, which would be my want to exit it from the collection. I think it's one of those it's on notice. I need to watch it again before I would make a decision to kick it from the collection. Because it looks interesting, and I love the story of the Winchester Mansion. I do. Like Stephen King's Rose Red, which is still one of my favorite horror miniseries of all time. One of these days, I'm going to get a tour of the Winchester Mansion.
Well, we just gotta fly to LA.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, that's something we could do if we go. Well, when we go, we're gonna go to LA. Cause I go back. I gotta go back eventually. This is one that I got, I think, from Jacob because he got this unofficial trilogy, which had Sicario at the start of it, and this is Wind River. I've seen 2 parts of the trilogy, and this is the one I haven't seen, with Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen. Now, I'll admit, the ones I've seen in that unofficial trilogy, which is kind of like loosely related films, Sicario is an amazing film. I'm willing to say that as a definite. It's well worth watching. If you haven't watched it, you should. We're covering an Inside Movies Galore next month. You should definitely check it out when we discuss it. Definitely one that I would encourage Kim to watch with me when I rewatch it. Mm-hmm. So Wind River is a chilling thriller. Can't get that one out of my head. That follows rookie FBI agent Elizabeth Olsen, who teams up with a game tracker and deep community ties and a haunted past to investigate the mysterious killing of a local girl in a remote Native American reservation. I see why this is tied to the other 2 because the other 2 have a lot of similarities. Have you heard of Wind River?
I've heard of it. I've just never seen it.
I don't know if you've watched this one with me, but I understand why people kind of dunked on this. So Disney had their 100th anniversary, and they decided they were going to make this big movie to celebrate it. And that movie was Wish. Now, I don't know.
I had no desire to watch that film. Like none. I was not interested in it at all.
I don't know why Disney, I mean, it does have Once Upon a Studio, which is, my opinion, a really good short that envisions the 100 years of Disney. This one kind of has this sort of fairy godmother origin story, with our main character here being the fairy godmother, supposed to be the fairy godmother from Cinderella. It had a lot of potential, but fell flat in many ways. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't. I don't understand why Disney had the fears of doing what they did. It's like, you've got this 100-year catalog. Why not pull from it and have these characters make an appearance in these movies like that? I mean, I kind of also understand the idea of having representation involved, so that you can have a person of color being the fairy godmother and all that. But there are other persons of color that you could use from Disney. Not a lot, but there are a few that you could have used as, like, side characters, maybe made a different story, had people involved. There's a lot of Pixar people who you could also have pulled in. I feel like this one on a regular time would have been an okay film for Disney, but for their big 100th anniversary film, come on, guys, you could do better. Did you watch this one? You said you didn't have any desire to. Did you watch it with me when I was watching?
No, I haven't seen it. I told you I haven't seen it. I had no desire to watch it.
Let me see if this is the one I'm thinking. Oh, yeah, this is the one. The one that I know you liked, and I need to watch again because I don't remember liking it. So I'm kind of on the fence. I have to watch it again before I decide to get it out of my collection. It's a Nicolas Cage film called The Witch.
Is that the one where he's like hunting witches in the Crusades or something?
This is like they're a family that's kind of ostracized because of their religious beliefs, because they're a little bit more extreme.
Wait, no. You said Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage.
Are we talking about the witch with Anya Taylor-Joy or whatever her name is?
Yeah, I think so.
That's not Nicolas Cage.
Let's see here. Let's see here. In New England, William and Catherine lead a devout Christian life.
That's not Nicolas Cage.
Homesteading. Well, who plays the father then? I thought it was Nick Cage.
I can't remember his name, but I want to say he was in the original UK Office. And I know he was. I remember him from First Night with Sean Connery.
I swear I thought it was him. The Witch. There we go.
No, Nicolas Cage did another one that was called like The Witch or something like that, where he was hunting witches during the Crusades or some crap like that. But takes place in New England. That's Anya Taylor-Joy. That was like the movie that made her famous. Okay,
Ralph Ineson.
Okay. I couldn't remember his name
because I always thought that was I assume, but it didn't leave much of an impression on me. But maybe I just need to watch it again because I know you liked it a lot.
I love The Witch. I'm like, what are you talking about? It didn't leave an impression. You're confusing it, I think, with something else. That's why you're not really sure about it. Come on, the goat, Black Phillip, the kids being weird and stuff. I know you. Baby disappears, gets kidnapped, and then
So the next one is one from Vinegar Syndrome, which is called Witch Trap. This sounds familiar to me, but I don't know why. I know I got it on a Black Friday sale because that's how I get all my stuff from Vinegar Syndrome. For years, the Launder house has come to be plagued by strange and violent occurrences. Unexplained deaths and seemingly supernatural activities have scared away all prospective tenants and buyers. And now its owners have decided to turn the old mansion into a bed and breakfast. That seems like a wise idea. Follow a team of paranormal experts as they attempt to remove the demonic forces and cleanse the property of evil. This is a 1989 film. I am a fan of 80s and 90s horror, especially 80s horror. I don't know why. I just maybe it's because, well, I can't say because I grew up with it, because I hated horror when I was growing up.
Well, no, it's part nostalgia, and it's also part like things were done back then that would never fly today. That people would be like, "Oh my God, we can't do that. We can't put that on a film in a film."
There was a particular style of it. I don't know what it is on that, but yeah. So the last WI I have is one I did for Inside Movies Galore. I didn't care as much for this one, but I might need to watch it again before I get rid of it in the collection. And that is a film called Witchin' and Bitchin'. It was a Dave choice. I know it's about people who go into this community that's filled with witches and trying to survive the night there. It's a horror comedy, very bloody, very gory. And I believe that they're trying to escape because these witches are trying to eat them. So I am curious about that. I need to watch it again. Dave loved the film. So that's not necessarily a a glowing endorsement, though. If you know what I mean.
Again, I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. I'm even picturing in my head the cover art for the DVD, but I've never seen it.
All right. Now the one that is the longest stack, the other two are small stacks. The WHs. So
How many more?
There's 3 stacks left, and the WHs are the longest of them. So once we get through this, we're mostly done. All right. So this one is one that is a really good film. Amazing acting. Also has some controversy around it because the actor was not as overweight as the character in the film. And that is the movie The Whale. So he plays this kind of, he is a gay man who is very overweight, and his relative is over there with him at the time, and he is kind of trying to help her and help himself. It is a heart-wrenching movie. Amazing performance by Brendan Fraser. Yes, he was not as overweight as that, though he did struggle with his own weight issues, because a lot of people were like, he shouldn't deserve that acting award because a person who was actually that weight should have been tapped for the role. I disagree with that. He did an amazing job with this role. It was an amazing movie, but a very hard movie to watch. I don't know. Did you watch it, or I know you know of it?
I know of it. I just haven't watched it yet.
What do you think of that controversy? Do you think a person of that weight should have been the one acting?
Honestly, I don't give a damn. I don't. Because if we can have non-Brits playing Brits, and honestly, having someone that large is, I hate to say, it's kind of a liability. You know, are they going to survive the entire film shoot? It's not, shooting a movie is not exactly a walk in the park, no matter whether it's big budget or, you know, micro budget. And is it offensive to people who are, you know, 700 pounds and immobile? Well, fine, maybe. But at the same time, this is one of those first movies where they played the character as a sympathetic person and not a joke. Because morbidly obese people in films, they're seen as a joke.
Yeah.
You know, we're either made fun of and been like, oh, look at you, you're so fat, you know, watch you eat a whole bucket of chicken. Or they're made out to be like monsters. In this case, the guy is sympathetic because he's in a terrible position in his life. You know, this is very much a mental health movie, where, because I mean, you don't get that big overnight.
And they show that definitely. A lot of it has to do with the loss of his significant other and him just going into a total despair and depression. It's interesting. It was very good, but it was a hard watch.
Yeah.
So one that you might be able to speak to, because I have never seen it, but it is one that I need to see, and that is Whale Rider.
Never seen it. I know of it, but I've never seen it.
I know you've heard of it because it's well known. A small Maori village faces a crisis when the heir to their leadership of the Ngati Kanohi dies at birth and is survived only by his twin sister, Pai. Although disregarded by her grandfather and shunned by the people of her village, 12-year-old Pai remains certain of her calling and trains herself in the ways of the customs of her people. Looks interesting. This one got a lot of love. I just need to see it.
It's pretty old.
Now I know this one very well. This is a Kino one called Whatever Happened to Aunt Alice. This one is a kind of it is a very disturbing tale, and about this woman who kills a lot of people and buries them in her garden.
Jesus.
It is I can't really explain it, but it is a very intense story. It is quite good. We covered on Inside Movies Galore, and I did watch it for that, and I had to get a copy for myself. And it's rare that I do it in that order. Usually I get a copy to watch it, but sometimes I do see the films and go, oh, okay, I need this in the collection, which is how I'm doing it nowadays, because trying to collect all the Inside Movies Galore ones is silly when you may not like them. But a good one. I think that's one that you would actually like. This one here is a film. It looks like it could be one I got at Dollar Tree, and that is What Happens Next Will Scare You. I like this cover, which is probably why I got it. Let's see. Working late in their Halloween feed, a motley crew of internet journalists share their top 13 scariest viral videos. So an anthology piece.
Sounds familiar, but I don't think we've watched it. I don't know.
Well, I know one that you have watched, and I've upgraded. This is an upgrade that I apparently missed because I have a snapper case for this. And that is a Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan film, which shall already clue you in what this is, which is When Harry Met Sally.
Allegedly, Brandy made me watch it years ago. I don't remember that. I mean, she says that we watched it, and I'm like, it was one of the few like old school rom-coms that I just never watched because it seemed a little bit too adult for me because I was young when it came out. I was really young.
You know what movie it reminds me of? It reminds me a lot of Annie Hall because there's a lot of similarities in it because it's about an off again, on again relationship, and it spans a long time. I mean, the most iconic scene, of course, is when Meg Ryan was proving that women fake orgasms, faking one in the middle of a food court in the mall.
And from what I understand, that scene takes place in Katz's Deli, I think,
or something like that. I can't remember. I just know it was in a public
Deli.
But yeah, I need to go to Katz's Deli. They're expensive, but that's a one-time thing. If I try it one time, it's worth the cost for a one-time deal. This one I got on a Troma sale. It's called When Nature Calls, You've Gotta Go. This is a weird-looking poster.
Very random.
Troma is random, really, if you think about it, because Troma has, you've got your main features, and they're your Lloyd Kaufman stuff, but then you've got their published stuff, and that goes into a wide variety. In a gag-a-minute style of Airplane and Ace Ventura movies comes an out-of-control comedy when nature calls. When life in the big city becomes too hectic, a working-class Joe takes his whole family to live in the woods. So, yeah, that could be very fun. It looks like it might be entertaining to watch. It might be horrible as well. Now, these I'm going to just do as one big thing. The Japanese for this name of the series is Higurashi, but the English name of the series is When They Cry. I don't know if I've ever tried to show you some of those. Very disturbing horror. And to me,
you haven't.
Japan has not been known for their scary horror, but they are very good at disturbing horror when it comes to anime, because that's usually, to me, at the best. So this is When They Cry, Sotsu, and Gao. So you got Gao 1 and 2, and essentially When They Cry is a series, it's an anime series about these kids in this place called Higurashi, which is a small town. And they have this disease that makes them go insane and go into these murderous rampages. It goes into this weird cycle of death and rebirth. So a lot of the characters in this, you'll see them die over and over again. In the second season, they beat the cycle. In this season, apparently one person who's really pissed off that the cycle was broken ends up restarting the cycle again, the cycle of murder, death, and rebirth. And it is, I saw the first part of it and I haven't seen the rest of it, but I'm very curious as to how it goes, because that is one of the more disturbing series I have seen. It's well done. The horror in it is well executed, and I love the story for the most part. So it's very much worth a good watch. And if you want to see more about it, we do an anime anti-climax episode on it where we discuss the first 2 seasons on this channel. So you can look that up. Now, you may have seen this one, which is When We Were Kings, the untold story of Rumble in the Jungle.
Never saw it. I should have seen it a long time ago, but I've just never seen it. So
it did win Best Documentary. I don't remember who said, you never have documentaries in your collection. It might even be you. Said I don't have any documentaries. Somebody said it.
I never said that.
Somebody told me, he's like, you don't have it. You never get documentaries. I'm like,
I don't know who that was, but it wasn't me.
But I like this. It looks interesting. Muhammad Ali is an interesting figure, and I am curious about that one. So this one I got because it was Bill Murray, and that is the movie called Where the Buffalo Roam. Of course, most people know this story from the Johnny Depp one that they did. And God, what was that one? You know what I'm talking about, right? Johnny Depp did the story about like the journalist who's high on stuff all the time.
What?
Oh gosh, what was it called?
I don't know what movie you're talking about.
This is where my memory is kind of crap. But it was earlier. It wasn't super early in his career, but it's one that he's well known for. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. It's a very similar one, except
I never saw that.
Yeah, Bill Murray is playing the role of the character Dr. Hunter S. Thompson, and I've heard some good things about this version of the story. And Bill Murray's a good actor, so I could see him acting out this weird character. All right, keep moving. This one is an Oscar nominee. I think maybe Oscar winner, but mostly an Oscar nominee. I've not seen it, or maybe I might have seen it. This is called Where the Crawdads Sing. It's Reese Witherspoon, and so Let's see. From the best-selling novel.
She's not in it. I think she is from her. The book was picked from her book club, if I recall correctly. I keep saying I'm going to read the book before I watch the movie, but that I got other more important, pressing things on my book TBR.
Okay, I have seen this. Yeah, she's. It's about this girl who kind of raises herself in the marshes of North Carolina. So it was, from what I remember, it was well done. All right, this I got off of Disney Movie Club sale, I think for $1, which is where the toys come from. There's a cute little documentary where, let's see here. Gosh, they make that dark. Magical journey through time involves a child's fantasy land where toys of every style and size and color come to life and talk. Two comical bug-eyed toys named Peepers and Zoom, curious as to where toys come from, begins a journey to find their roots. With encouragement from both their young owner and wise old toy, Peepers and Zoom embark on a fascinating odyssey to discover their beginnings in a factory in Japan, an enchanting tale created by Thomas, son of veteran Disney animator Frank Thomas. Okay, so it's not a documentary, it's more of a animated tale. It's kind of cool. I like that. That's a cool concept. Bunch of toys like, who created us? These are some more ones I need to watch again. But you know these. The white noise movies.
I've only seen the first one. I didn't see the other ones.
The first one I have is a flipper that has a two-side, and it was scarred all the heck, so I needed to replace it. So this one actually is not a double-sided one, as you can see. That's white noise too. White noise. And these are widescreen. The original one I had was full screen. I want to say it's like contacting the dead through radio waves or something like that.
EVP, that's what it is.
And I remember the original one was creepy. I don't remember anything about the second one.
I never saw it. I saw the original one, I think, in theaters many moons ago. But no, it was a good movie. It was a solid, scary little horror movie.
No, this one is one that I got because Benny Hill is in it, which is a kind of Sherlock Holmes style comedy called Who Done It. It was on a Kino sale. I don't know much more than that. I'm pretty sure you've never watched it.
Yep, never watched it.
Have you seen the movie Clue?
No.
Well, this is a documentary about Clue called Who Done It. I liked the movie Clue. It was a flop, which is unfortunate, but it was a very ambitious comedy based on the board game. I mean, it had some amazing cast members in it, and it is very strange how they did it, because what they did is they made it different endings, because the point of Clue is trying to find out who done it, and it could be a different person each time. So they created different endings to the comedy, and they would run the endings randomly at each theater. But that did not play very well. To me, it's just a show of creativity, and sometimes when you take those gambles, you end up failing at the end. All right, last one I've got on this, and then the other two stacks are very short. So, why the hell are you here, teacher? Anime. This is one of those odd anime about a teacher teaching public schools about attractiveness and getting what do they call it, relationship advice. So another one I got off of a Sentai sale. Don't know whether it's any good or not, but maybe one day I will find out. All right. Now the WE stack, which is going to be much shorter. Then the last one, which is the WA stack. All right, this one I got off of a Vinegar Syndrome, it looks like. And I love the look of this. This is a horror film called We're All Going to the World's Fair. I mean, look at that. Isn't that creepy looking?
Yeah, kind of creepy.
Have you ever heard of this one?
No. If it's, you already know right now, if it's micro budget or like rarely known, I've never seen it. You're just go ahead and answer the question right now. No.
It's an indie film, but not a micro budget film. On a late cold night somewhere in the U.S., teenage Casey sits alone in the attic bedroom, scrolling the internet under the glow-in-the-dark stars and black light posters that blanket the ceiling. She has finally decided to take the World's Fair Challenge, an online role-playing horror game, and embrace the uncertainty it promises. After the initiation, she documents the changes that may or may not be happening to her. Very creepy premise. Now, one I do know you know about, and I've only watched a few episodes, and it looks interesting. I just haven't gotten into it, is Wednesday. Went ahead and got that. I mean, this is one of the two things that really put, what is her name?
Jenna Ortega.
Jenna Ortega on the map, where she plays Wednesday. Basically, she plays the incarnation of Wednesday from the Addams Family movies as a teenager, kind of solving mysteries in her weird supernatural school that she goes to. From what I've seen, it's kind of a mix of the Addams Family movies concept with the original Addams Family comics that were released back in the day. And what I saw was pretty decent. There was a time when that she was one of the. It was her and Megan that they had the Wednesday dance and the Megan dance that were big in there. Let's see here. Then there is a one here that is the Weirdsies. I want to say this is a Chris Seaver film. Yeah, it's kind of a micro budget take on. What was it? The Stand By Me type thing, but a little bit more horror based. This one I got at Mo's request because he was big into Chris Seaver. I've met the guy. He's an interesting but eccentric fellow who is very, very trapped in the 80s. I mean it. The man is like an 80s hound. So this is a documentary that I find very important, and I got because I really wanted to make sure that I had a copy. This is one that was Oscar nominated, and it's called Welcome to Chechnya. Now, this is a documentary about how very scary it is to be gay in Russia or Russia-affiliated territory, and about the people who work to smuggle these people out of those countries. Now, it is a very intense one and very sad at times, especially with how backward the world is in a lot of these cases, and why I really am against Russia's influence on the world, because it's terrible what they do in these regards. To me, if you haven't watched it, you should watch it. It is very well done. And I'm sad that it didn't. I think it lost to like Free Solo, which is the one about like climbing cliffs. Because I remember being pissed off that year. I was like, yeah, it's a nice documentary, but it doesn't have much of a message other than insane dude who likes to climb cliffs. So this next one here is Wendigo. I'm not exactly, I know that it's probably because I knew some people there. The Wrath of Human Garbage. When the Great North Woods comes a legend of Native American spirit known as Wendigo. Who did this? I was given this by the director, it looks like. I've seen it. I don't remember it. I need to watch it again. Okay, this one is a really good one. It's called Went to Coney Island on a Mission from God. I got this as a random add-in from a purchase I made from Wet Movie One. If you like autograph stuff, you should check out his eBay because he sells a lot of autograph materials and so on. This was when he was trying to sell some of his collections. An indie movie. It's like, what if somebody told you that one of your best friends from high school, someone you were really close to, had lost his mind and disappeared without a trace? Would you believe it? Would you wonder how it came to pass? These are questions facing Stan and Daniel when they learn their friend Richie might be living out of a garbage dump by the Coney Island amusement park. This is kind of a dramedy. I really loved it when I watched it. I need to watch it again. And if you do like these kind of indie dramedy pieces, I think that you would really like this piece. And then the final one of the WEs before I go to the last stack is the newest version of West Side Story. This is the version that Steven Spielberg did. Did you watch this one with me?
No, I haven't watched that one yet. I really don't have a desire to watch it.
It was an okay version of it. I mean, to me, the original version that they did is the best version of it. But I don't remember it very well. All right.
I feel like that's one that should not have gotten remade, and especially not by Steven Spielberg. No offense to him, but no. I think the casting was way off for that movie.
What was it? I remember there was some controversy around the casting of the main girl, but I don't remember.
Controversy is because once again, they decided to cast a white girl for a role for someone that is Hispanic. Like, the actress supposedly, I don't like the actress, first of all, because she seems to shit on every movie she's in and seems to be very ungrateful for the career she has. But from what I understand, Rachel Ziegler, she doesn't, her mom is like Portuguese or Spanish or something like that. She doesn't identify as Hispanic. She embraces her white Jewish heritage more. I don't like her. I don't like her. People like her and Jenna Ortega were kind of head to head at one point, but then Jenna Ortega came out on top. But I don't know. Like, that's the controversy, that once again they cast someone in the lead role of Maria that wasn't Hispanic.
Well, for the last little stack here, we're starting with one with James Chen, who is known for The Walking Dead. And that is Watching TV with the Red Chinese. It's an interesting title, one that could only be an indie drama title. Essentially, it's about these Chinese students that have come in the 80s, and they learn about American culture and kind of get disillusioned by it as we go. And it's understandable because they're living in poor American culture. It's not exactly the best in the world. And I remember it was an okay film, one I need to rewatch. Not one that impressed me as much as the other one. Now, this one I needed to get because of people keep telling me, it's like, why haven't you watched this? Why haven't you watched this? I'm like, I don't know. There's a lot of movies that people tell me, why haven't you watched this? And that is the movie The Warriors. I mean, everybody knows that whole Warriors come out and play thing. I mean, it's a movie essentially about a variety of street gangs, and this one street gang is out of their area and they're trying to get back to their territory.
Never heard of it.
It's a fairly wild film. It's one that you may or may not like. I'm not really sure. It is a classic film, and I did like it when I watched it. But it's got that intensity of these people trying to get back after this massive meeting of gangs. In what, in my opinion, is a very dystopian city. This one has to have been something I got from either a pile or something, because I don't imagine why I would have gotten this otherwise. This is a movie called Warning Shot. Never heard of it. I don't even remember getting it, if that makes sense. A single mother to daughter is trapped in a constant struggle to make ends meet. With her grandfather passing away, she inherits the family farmhouse, for which the lucrative rights are coveted by a business rival of her grandfather. All right, and then it's kind of a drama thriller, I guess. I never even heard of this. Have you heard of this movie?
If you haven't heard of it, then you know I haven't heard of it.
I mean, it's got David Spade, James Earl Jones, Bruce Stern, Tammy Blanchard. This must have come randomly with something I've got. There's nothing in here that triggers why I would have bought it myself. This one, I know why I got this one. This is a film called The War Within by Magnolia. This is one I picked up at the Dollar Tree. And usually when you see a Magnolia piece at the Dollar Tree, you pick it up. A Pakistani engineering student in Paris is imprisoned and interrogated by Western intelligence services for suspected terrorist activities. Formerly only an intellectual supporter of jihad, Hassan undergoes a radical transformation and embarks upon a terrorist mission, covertly entering the United States to join a cell based in New York City. After meticulous planning for an event of maximum devastation, all the members of the cell are arrested except for Hassan and one other. With nowhere else to turn, Hassan must rely on the hospitality of his friend Saeed, who is living the American dream with his family in New Jersey. What unfolds is a profound human and political drama as we tensely observe the state of mind of a suicide bomber while he tries to decide whether or not to carry out this deadly mission. This looks like an interesting piece. This looks like an interesting piece. I mean, seeing something within the mind. There was one a while back that had that concept, and I cannot remember it. It was a little bit bigger, about actually more along the lines of a bunch of people who ended up starting out as normal, but the war-torn stuff and a lot of the stuff that we did to their country kind of turned them into the suicide bomb mindset. So this is kind of an interesting concept. This one here is one I got used, but I've never seen, is Want to Be the Strongest in the World. This is one of these about apparently a women's weightlifting club. I'm surprised, though. Nope, sorry, wrong one. This is about a women's wrestling club. And I have seen it, and I don't remember much about it. I'll leave it at that. All right, this one still has the Best Buy pickup sticker on it. That's the last of this that I got. Though I do have the complete series. I don't think this is the last season of it. And that is The Walking Dead Season 11. How long did Walking Dead go for?
Longer than it should have.
Well, yeah. Well, it's still going technically if you count all the spinoffs and stuff. Dead.
I think the spinoffs are done.
Went to 2022, and it's got some seasons in it. 177 episodes. Oh, this is the last season. So that's why it's still in there. So now I can say I've got the entire Walking Dead series, and I have no desire to collect the other series. But Fear the Walking Dead started out as something interesting to me. I lost interest quickly, and I'll admit it's still one I'm not sure about series-wise. Walking Dead started off really strong and then kind of lost me as it went. Fuck that farm. All right, only 3 more items. This one is one I got from Sentai cheaply called Wake Up Girls. Let's see here. Green Leaves Entertainment is in the worst situation of any talent agency. They have no talent. Desperate for an act, the president targets the idol singer market and gives her flunky his marching orders. Get a girl group to manage, even if it means building one from scratch. So that sounds like an interesting concept. Another one of these idol girl series that were very prominent. Another one from Sentai, Waiting in Summer. Got an interesting title there. Another one I probably got when it was really cheap because they would sell some of these things for under $10. Let's see. When a group of friends decide to make a movie over the long summer holiday, they end up learning a little about filmmaking and a lot about each other and themselves. Oh, yeah. Looking at this, I probably actually picked this out purposefully because of the movie making aspect. And finally, there is a movie that I got off Vinegar Syndrome called Wacko. Which I believe is a horror comedy. 13 years ago at a Halloween pumpkin prom, the infamous lawnmower killer went on a brutal rampage, murdering several high school students, including Mary Graves' older sister, traumatizing her for life. Now, after the unexpected escape of a prisoner from the state mental hospital, who may or may not be the killer, it's up to the hard-nosed gumshoe Dick Harbinger to solve the case before the lawnmower killer seeks out a new slew of victims at the upcoming pumpkin prom. That is, if anyone is able to survive the hilarious horror hijinks from it. I don't know.
It sounds fucking stupid. I'm sorry. It just sounds dumb.
A lawnmower is an odd item to use. I mean, very messy, but it's a very odd item to use as a killing weapon. But that's it. That's everything for this one. That's another letter down. Now comes the long aspect of putting it in the boxes for the sorting as it goes. A lot of variety in that, but you can see a lot of those micro-budget films just always seem to make up a good bulk of what I get because they usually come either for free or cheap as they go. But I do look forward to seeing some of these, especially the Wicked sequel. I guess they're the original two. And I thank Kim for sitting with me for this one. Again, if you haven't checked it out, you should check out her YouTube channel, as it is fun, especially for those of you who like books and collecting of books. There's a lot of cool stuff, and she does some very fun shorts on this channel. So if you haven't checked out anything, check out a few of the shorts. If you like that, check out the long form content. And we'll see you on the next one. Anything you want to say to people before we leave?
I'm sleepy.
All right. Bye-bye.
SeptumSin versus the world. It's that place for all the boys and girls. You'll feel real safe, you'll feel real warm. It's a cozy place to ride out the storm. SeptumSin. depressed boy Jake. See the trends that scare us every day. Physical media is going to the side. Doctor streaming,